A firearms store can have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting behind the counter and still struggle to make money. That sounds impossible. You walk inside and see expensive products everywhere. A single customer might spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The shelves are packed with firearms, ammunition, optics, cases, cleaning supplies, clothing, and accessories. From the outside, it can look like a gold mine. But owning a firearms store is a strange business. You are selling expensive products in a huge American industry, but every sale comes with inventory costs, employees, insurance, security, payment processing, paperwork, regulation, and one enormous problem. The most expensive thing in the store may not actually be the thing making the owner the most money. And that completely changes the economics. Imagine opening a normal retail store. You buy products from suppliers, put them on shelves, add your markup, and sell them. A firearms store follows the same basic idea, but with a lot more complexity. Before a U.S. business can legally operate as a firearms dealer, it generally needs the appropriate federal firearms license from the ATF. Plus, it must comply with applicable state and local requirements. And getting licensed isn't the end of the paperwork. Firearms dealers have federal record-keeping responsibilities. Transactions can involve identification requirements, required forms, background check procedures, inventory records, and records that may need to be available during compliance inspections. So this isn't the kind of business where you simply rent an empty shop, order some inventory, and open the doors the next morning. But suppose everything is approved. Now comes the expensive part: inventory. If you opened a coffee shop, you might buy cups, beans, milk, furniture, and machines. A firearms retailer can have a much larger amount of money tied up in products sitting on shelves. Imagine a simplified example. Suppose a store puts $250,000 into inventory. That doesn't mean the owner has $250,000 sitting in the bank. The money has effectively been transformed into products, and those products need to sell. Fast-moving inventory can be great. Slow-moving inventory can become painful because the rent is still due. Employees still need to be paid. Insurance still needs to be paid. Electricity still needs to be paid. And suppliers may need to be paid long before every product has been sold. This creates one of the most important concepts in retail economics: inventory turnover. A store doesn't just want an expensive product with a high selling price. It wants products people consistently buy. A $2,000 item sitting untouched for months may be less useful to the business than a much cheaper item being sold repeatedly. That's the first big surprise. Revenue is not profit. If a customer buys a $1,000 product, the store does not magically make $1,000. The retailer already paid a supplier or distributor for that inventory. Then part of the remaining money has to support labor, rent, taxes, insurance, utilities, security, payment fees, software, compliance work, and everything else required to operate the business. Suddenly, that impressive $1,000 sale looks very different. And competition can make it even tougher. A local firearms dealer isn't only competing against another shop 5 miles away. Customers can compare prices online almost instantly. If one retailer wants significantly more for a widely available product, customers may know before they even enter the building. That creates pressure on margins. Lower the price too much, and profit disappears. Raise it too much, and the customer shops somewhere else. So how does the store survive? This is where the business gets more interesting. The headline product may attract the customer, but other parts of the store can play an important role in the economics. Think about a car dealership. The business doesn't necessarily depend on only the profit built into the vehicle itself. There can be financing, servicing, parts, warranties, and repeat customers. Firearms retail can follow a similar retail principle. A customer may come through the door because of one major purchase. But the business may also sell cases, eye and hearing protection, cleaning products, storage products, apparel, optics, range equipment, and other lawful sporting accessories. These smaller purchases matter because they can increase the average amount spent during a visit and give customers reasons to come back. Repeat business is incredibly important. A person probably isn't buying an expensive major item every week, but customers involved in recreational shooting or hunting may return for other supplies. That repeat traffic can help turn a one-time buyer into a long-term customer, and this leads to an important economic rule. The first sale gets the customer. The repeat sales can build the business. But there is another challenge. Demand can be unpredictable. Firearm-related demand in the United States has historically moved through periods of increases and declines influenced by economic conditions, elections, proposed laws, major news events, product releases, hunting seasons, and consumer sentiment. That can create dangerous inventory decisions. Imagine demand suddenly explodes. Customers arrive faster than stores expected. Inventory disappears. Prices across the supply chain may change. Retailers rush to restock. That sounds fantastic, until demand cools. Now imagine the store ordered heavily because it expected the boom to continue. Suddenly, the shelves are full again, but customers aren't buying at the same pace. The store may have thousands of dollars trapped in inventory purchased near the top of the cycle. To move it, the owner may have to discount products, and every discount eats into profit. This is why predicting demand can be more valuable than simply having the biggest inventory. Too little stock loses sales. Too much stock traps cash. Finding the middle is the business, and the scale of the industry makes this even more fascinating. According to a 2025 report from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the U.S. firearm and ammunition industry's total economic impact was estimated at roughly $91.7 billion in 2024, supporting nearly 383,000 jobs when direct, supplier, and induced employment were included. So there is clearly enormous economic activity surrounding this market. But a huge industry does not guarantee that every retailer gets rich. Think about restaurants. Americans spend enormous amounts of money eating out every year. Restaurants still fail. The same basic principle applies here. A growing market cannot save a badly managed business. And firearms stores also face costs that an ordinary clothing shop might never think about. Security is one of them. The inventory is valuable and sensitive. Owners have strong incentives to invest in theft prevention and secure business practices. Insurance can also be more complicated than it is for many ordinary retailers. Then there is compliance. ATF says federally licensed dealers are subject to compliance inspections, and federal law requires extensive transaction and inventory records. That means mistakes are not simply an inconvenience. They can become serious business problems. A normal store accidentally entering the wrong color of t-shirt into its inventory system might have a small accounting issue. A regulated firearms business operates in an environment where accurate records are far more important. So the owner isn't just managing sales. They're managing risk. Financial risk, inventory risk, security risk, compliance risk, and potentially reputational risk. That also affects labor. You can't always treat hiring like you would at a convenience store. Employees need to understand store policies, lawful sales procedures, documentation requirements, customer service, products, and the responsibilities that come with working inside a heavily regulated business. Training costs money. Good workers cost money. And mistakes can cost even more. Now imagine our hypothetical store again. It generates $1.5 million in sales in 1 year. That sounds incredible. But suppose the actual cost of purchasing its inventory consumed most of that revenue. Then subtract payroll, rent, insurance, utilities, security, software, marketing, taxes, card processing costs where applicable, professional services, inventory losses, discounts, and all the dozens of small expenses businesses quietly accumulate. The owner might discover that a company doing more than $1 million in annual sales produces dramatically less actual take-home profit than outsiders imagine. This is why business owners care about gross profit, operating expenses, and net profit, not just revenue. Revenue makes impressive headlines. Net profit pays the owner. And there is one more part of firearms retail that could become increasingly important: experience. Physical stores have something online sellers can't completely reproduce: human interaction. A knowledgeable retailer can explain general product differences, help customers understand lawful store procedures, provide customer service, and build trust with a local community. Some businesses expand that relationship through lawful services such as training partnerships, gunsmithing where properly licensed and operated, or connections with shooting sports facilities. The idea is simple. Don't only sell a product, build an ecosystem around the customer. Because if your entire business depends on making money from one major purchase, competition can crush you. But if customers have multiple reasons to return, the economics become stronger. And that may be the biggest lesson behind owning a firearms store. From outside, the business looks simple. Expensive products, huge demand, big industry, big sales. But underneath is a much harder equation. You need enough inventory to keep customers interested without burying all your cash in products. You need competitive prices without destroying your margins. You need strong sales while paying for employees, security, insurance, and compliance. And you need customers to return instead of making one purchase and disappearing forever. The winner isn't necessarily the store selling the most expensive firearms. It may be the business that controls inventory better, creates repeat customers, manages expenses, stays compliant, and survives when demand suddenly falls. Because a store can have $1 million moving through its register and still be a terrible business. The real weapon in firearms retail isn't what sits behind the counter. It's cash flow.